Welcome to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner, investment advisor, and insurance professional Alfie Townsend, president of Advantage Retirement Group.
Good morning, Southwest Florida. You're listening to Saving the Investor radio show. I am Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida certified financial planner professional, here with Pastor John Antonucci. And what a show we're going to have today. We have a lot to talk about. A little bit of bombing in Iran and what that means to the market, and really how the market responded. I think it was pretty amazing. And we're going to talk about future interest rates and so much more. So stay tuned. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, good morning, Southwest Florida. I'm here with the man who helps high net worth families navigate life's biggest financial decisions, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend, with over 40 years experience as a CFP. Whether you're planning your legacy or preparing for the next phase of life, here in our beautiful Southwest Florida paradise, Alfie's got you covered. So grab your coffee, settle in. Be sure to jot his number down, 239-747-1077. You also can visit Alfie on the web by going to savingtheinvestor.com. Again, that's savingtheinvestor.com. You'll find a wealth of information about Alfie, his company, and all the services he offers here at the Advantage Retirement Group. And before we jump in, we've got a special gift for you today. Alfie's book, Making Waves in Retirement, is backed by popular demand, and he's giving away a limited number of free copies to our listeners. It's full of powerful lessons, real-life stories, and retirement strategies you can use immediately. Just text the word book, B-O-O-K, to 239-747-1077, or give us a call and ask the operator to send Alfie's book, Making Waves in Retirement. Text the word book or call 239-747-1077. And Alfie, we've got a big show next week. I know you want to promote it early on.
Yep.
We got a special guest, don't we?
Yes, we do. The guest next week, you want to put it on your calendar and put it on your phone to make sure that you are listening. It's going to be Congressman Byron Donalds is going to spend quite some time with us on next week's show. I'm excited. We have a lot of questions we're going to ask him, about the economy. And, he was a financial planner before he got into this. So, before he got into this.
Well, he said he quit because you were taking over the whole region, weren't you?
Yeah, he was just nice, very nice guy. But you know what? He is really the leader in Congress. He is the one that he's on TV all the time, and he's on a lot of the boards there, the committees, and he is doing a great job there. And he's going to talk about obviously running for the governor here of Florida, which is, I think that's his next step.
And no doubt about it. And he reminds me of Trump because he's decisive, he's bold, he's fearless, and he gets things done. That's what you want.
Gets it done. So we're looking forward to that. So he will be our guest. I don't know how long he's going to stay. He's a busy man, but hopefully he can, whatever he can stay, we're going to take it, and we're going to pepper him with questions. And if that's a good thing, if you want us to ask you a question to him, just give us, give us a call on this radio show this morning, and then what we'll do is we'll get some questions from you all,
great.
to really ask him, and we'll do as many as we can for you. How about that? But with that being said, there was a lot happening in the market this past week, and a lot happening around the world. We had, President Trump said yes to really to have the military go and do this bombing that was, no one knew that was happening. They were caught off guard, and that's what you want to do when you're doing a mission like that. What was it, 36 hours?
It's incredible how they could fly there and fuel in the air. And, he threw them an olive branch, gave them 60 days, and they didn't take it. So you don't play around with this guy.
Yeah, you don't. And I heard the plane really took off because the bombs were so heavy, 30,000 pounds each, and it was so heavy that they really had to take off almost empty in the plane, with very little fuel, and then they refueled when they got up in the air. So this was a mission that they had planes going the other way, and that's what the decoy planes.
Yeah, that diversion. They didn't know what hit them because there was no moonlight that night. They were in and out.
Yeah,
wasn't
not one shot.
Not one from the ground firing up, anti-aircraft missiles or anything. And And they hit the target from everything we're seeing.
And if you think about it, what kind of message does that send to China and to Russia?
It sends we don't even need NATO. That's how powerful we are.
Yeah, it shows them that if we did that, and the mission was such a success, and they're proving that it is a success.
Yeah.
Even though CNN came out and debunked it a little bit with preliminary. He absolutely did. So that's what I like about Trump. And so how did the markets react? I think they reacted pretty good, real good, matter of fact, because it was almost a ceasefire immediately.
Yeah, and isn't the S&P back to where it was?
The S&P, NASDAQ, S&P.
So if you got out, you really missed everything.
Yeah, we always talk about that, John. We always talk about market timing, and I'm sure people got out after. I bet they put stop orders on their accounts. They probably some went to cash, some went to safer investments. But this is the time. You don't know what the market. Then that's what's great about the market. You didn't know Trump was going to do what he did, right? You didn't know. Yeah, you don't know that there was bombing that's going to happen that day. You didn't know that the market was going to. Oil was talking about going to 125 a barrel, maybe 150. No, matter of fact, it went down.
Yeah, so
went up a little
60,
bit,
60-ish,
65-ish,
yeah.
But it went down like $7 in one day because he said don't do it.
He said drill baby drill.
Drill baby drill, and so this is the kind of leader that we have. So with that, you have to look at the economy, and the economy is rocking and rolling. Its job numbers are looking good. You have is Jerome Powell going to lower interest rates? It doesn't look like it's going to be anytime. That probably maybe December now. We might have 1, 2 possibly. But, I think once that happens, you're going to see the market, another nice little rally. So the markets have been on a nice little run up, and you have to make sure you're in the right asset classes. And Nvidia hit a record high. They're at record high. So these are things that you need to let us analyze your portfolios and show you some of the portfolios and what the returns have been, and we'll do a side-by-side comparison. Let's put you in a better situation than what you might be right now, and get you an income plan in place, and then you'll have income plan. You'll have income coming in, not have to touch your portfolios, and let that portfolio do its thing and grow and fight inflation and replace all the income that you're taking out. That's what you want. So, and not getting into your principal. So let's have a deep down conversation on that.
Yeah, Alfie does what's called a retirement simulator process, is a deep dive into your current portfolio to see what's really going on. What he does is he takes your portfolio back 5 years and puts it side by side with his, and you're going to see it on a huge TV screen, exactly how his portfolio would have compared to yours over those 5-year period. He's also going to expose all the hidden fees that could be eating up your returns each and every year. He's going to make sure you're allocated properly, diversified correctly, that you're rebalancing to keep the asset class mix that you desire to have with your your risk tolerance. He's also going to be able to assess that, and he's got a full program on that. He's got a Social Security analyzer that'll tell you the most opportune time to take Social Security. And listen, you want to take advantage of this, you need to be one of the first 9 callers. That's all his team here, and he's got an incredible team here at the Advantage Retirement Group that can handle each week. Be one of the first 9 callers right now. Either text the word VISIT, VISIT, to 239-747-1077. If you don't text, pick up the phone, call the operator, tell them I want to visit with Alfie Townsend. You could text the word VISIT to 239-747-1077. You also can visit Alfie online at savingtheinvestor.com. Listen, type in his web address right now while you're listening to me on your smart device or your iPad, savingtheinvestor.com. Go to that website, take a look, because there's a wealth of information about Alfie, his company, all the services that he offers here at the Advantage Retirement Group. You know, Alfie is a certified financial planner professional, but he's also a fiduciary, which means his responsibility is not to the products and services that he offers here through the Advantage Retirement Group. His responsibility is to you, the individual investor, and he doesn't cookie cut anything. It's all tailor-made income strategies and plans that will get you to and through retirement. Text the word visit or call the operator 239-747-1077. We're going to be right back right after this break, so don't go away. Welcome back to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner Alfie Townsend. You know, today's discussion is all about transformation, not just managing your money, but securing your future and stepping into retirement as a confident, well-positioned investor. And Alfie is offering a complimentary 15-minute retirement checkup call, a quick, no-pressure way to get clarity on your current path. All you have to do is either text or call the operator. You can text the number 15 to 239-747-1077, and you can schedule a 15-minute checkup complimentary retirement call with one of Alfie's trusted advisors here at the Advantage Retirement Group. Call the operator or text the number 15 to 239-747-1077. We also want you to mark your calendars. Next weekend is a big one here. It's not only 4th of July weekend, but we have in studio with us, probably for the entire hour, Congressman Byron Donalds, who's running for governor to follow up on Governor DeSantis' great job that he's done in 8 years. And we believe he's going to be the next governor of Florida. He's going to be here talking about financial strategies, a little red, white, and blue inspiration, and talking about what's taking place here in Southwest Florida in our district here. And Alfie, a lot of challenges here in our district. Housing is a challenge. You know, I want to ask him about, you know, DeSantis is talking about phasing out property taxes, you know, for seniors. I mean, how would they pay for everything else? Schools, police.
Yeah, that's the problem.
You know, how's he planning to do that? I want to hear his take on that.
You know, there's some, and I remember, and it was either Maryland or Pennsylvania when I lived over in Maryland. Seniors did not have to pay for taxes for schools.
Yeah, that's a big chunk.
You know, and that would make sense. I mean, you're not going to school. You're
Right.
done with everything. You paid your dues and everything.
Right.
So I could see something like that, and maybe we'll ask Byron something like that. Now, to eliminate taxes altogether I just don't see it. But you got, there's just, you know, that's where, because there's not a state income tax. So
you'd have to raise gas. I mean, California just added 65 cents today, you know, to their gas tax, which is crazy.
They are just raping the people over there over the coals.
Yeah.
It's just awful what they're doing to people in California, and that's why they're moving over to Arizona. They're moving over to Texas. So these are, and that's what New York is moving over. People moving over here from New York, and now I think they want to raise, if this new governor or a mayor that looks like he's gonna, he won the Democratic nomination. Now he's up against a general. He'll probably, when you're giving away everything, he'll probably win that most likely. And if he wins that, he's talking about 11% adding more taxes on businesses or wealthy people. So when you start to do that, you're going to have more and more. You're going to be just left with people that are working for the government or for the city for themselves. And it's not going to do good.
Yeah, it's going to be a mass exodus. You know, I think it's $30-40 to go over the Farazano Bridge. I mean, the tolls and everything that they got to pay over there is absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
you know?
and people just don't have that.
Yeah,
they just don't have that. So things have to be done. And if you're not, so these are a lot of questions we're going to ask Congressman Byron Donalds on the 3rd. On next week's show on Saturday, and you just need to know that we're going to ask some good questions, and he's the one to get us the answers.
Yeah.
He's the one to get us the answers, and it's pretty amazing that we are able to sit in studio with him and really pick his brain, because he's one. He talks to President Trump all the time. He's side by side. And President Trump lives here.
And he endorsed them already. So.
And he endorsed them, so that's usually a good thing.
Yeah.
It's usually a good thing. So let's talk about this week. We did have a lot of global things happening. Obviously, geopolitical. We have this Iran, Israel. This conflict was about a 10-day war, I think, 12-day war, and it looks like the ceasefire, if it holds, it's going to be a good thing. And I think they want to come to the table next week. Iran does. They're talking about coming to the table, and they don't have a bargaining chip now.
Nothing.
They don't really, so. But Iran, back in the 70s, I just remember when it was the Shah of Iran, that was really the pinnacle of the Middle East. Everybody wanted, that was just a beautiful, beautiful place. And it was like a mini Paris. They said it was just everybody was the district was full of just great things. People wanted to be there. Yeah. That's where they wanted. It was a happening place. And then Ayatollah came and then just really messed it all up. 80% of the people over there want to go back to what it was.
Yeah, that'd be a nice thing if they can do it, but they'd have to have a regime change to do that, and nobody's pushing for that.
Yeah, well, Trump did mention something about it, but it's for the people to do, not us. If they could do it, you're going to see if we can get the Middle East to be, peaceful, which is, you think of the peaceful in the Middle East, that hardly ever happens. But Trump is doing everything he can to make things happen. And you look at the difference between Trump administration and Biden administration, it's so night and day.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Biden, it was whoever was running Biden. We all know that right now.
The auto pen. Well, that girl just spoke up, and she signed a lot of things that she didn't know where. The recommendation was coming from. She was just signing it. So, he's going to expand the Abraham Accords. There's going to be more nations coming in. So, peace. You get peace out in the Middle East, and we're going to focus on growth in this country. It's going to explode.
Like Mike Opelka was saying a couple of days ago, he was saying, you get peace in the Middle East, you don't have to spend so much money on fighting that. You can take that money and build schools and roads and buildings and create jobs. And so that's, I think we are going to be heading into prosperity. He talked about the golden age, which I really think it's going to be something good. I think the markets are going to do good. If you're in the market right now and you don't know if your returns are what they should be, that's the whole thing. If if you're getting 2 or 3% return and the markets are really returning more than that right now, your goal is to be where the S&P is. If you can be where the S&P is at less volatility, that's the ticket. So give us a call, come in, and let us just analyze your portfolio. It doesn't cost you anything. You come in, we'll do we'll analyze your portfolio. You could do a 15-minute phone call that you don't even have to come in. Do a 15-minute phone appointment, talk to one of the advisors or myself, and then what we do is we'll find out what's going on. And then we'll show you how we can analyze your portfolio. And then we set up an appointment. If it's something that we can help you with, say, that 15-minute phone call saved you about, $50,000 of extra returns. Or, hey, you're doing pretty good. Keep doing what you're doing. Maybe a little tweak here and there, and then you're good. But you'll know if your accounts are doing good or not. That's what you want to know. You don't know what you don't know if you don't have it checked out. Yeah. So I think the 15-minute phone call, and John will set you up with that. He'll tell you how to just do a 15-minute appointment, and it's on the phone. We'll ask you pertinent questions. We'll tell you this is how we do this. If you want to know what your accounts are doing, if they're keeping up with the market, if you're paying excess fees, if you're not diversified, if you're too heavy in one asset class, you're going to know all this. And then we can show you a side-by-side comparison. And our goal is to, get your returns higher, but reduce your volatility. That's a beautiful thing. If you can reduce volatility, and we have income plans that are paying 8%. We have one, if you're as a credit investor, that's paying 15%. And, this is 15% of income. and it's a 2-year commitment. If this is the one you want, but you get 15%, then you get your money back at the end of 2 years. It's only a 2-year commitment on that one if you're looking for income. So there's things that we can do for you, but you got to give us a call to give us opportunity to show you what it is.
Yeah, why don't you get a second opinion? There's nothing wrong with that. It's complimentary. It's not going to cost you anything, even if you've been with an advisor for many years, or maybe you moved to Southwest Florida recently and you're still dealing with an advisor up in the north or central United States. Why don't you give Alfie Townsend a call? All you have to do is either text the number 15 to 239-747-1077, or if you don't text, call the operator, and you can schedule a 15-minute complimentary consultation. That'll be a retirement checkup. I always say get a checkup from the neck up. Make sure that you're geared towards your retirement plan and your goals that will get you to and through retirement. That's when Alfie does his best work. When you're working and you're saving, that's the easy part. But when you're in the harvest phase and you're taking money out and you have, different accounts that are moving in different directions, he's going to be able to put together an income plan and a strategy that will make your money outlive you. That's the ultimate goal. And Alfie is an expert in doing that because he has 40 years experience as a certified financial planner professional, and he's a fiduciary. Pick up the phone, call the operator, tell him you want the complimentary retirement checkup call with one of the advisors here at the Advantage Retirement Group. Text the number 15 to 239-747-1077. That's 239-747-1077. Stay tuned. We got a lot more show, a lot more topics to talk about, so don't go away.
Welcome back to Saving the Investor. This is Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida Certified Financial Planner Professional, here with Pastor John Antonucci. And we're going to keep talking about really what happened last week with the U.S. Dropping those 30,000-pound bombs and really getting Iran to really submit.
Yeah, I mean that's that's how you get people to the table. You wake them up.
Wake them up, and you're all tough when you have nukes and stuff like that. But if we just demolish those, it's a whole different ball game, and that's what we had to do, because they were, like he said, they were the bully of the Middle East.
Yeah.
They are the bully of the Middle East, and what do you do with a bully? They always say you punch them right in the face.
Yeah.
You punch them right in the nose, and that's what he did. They punched him right in the nose, and they really have nothing to come to the table with now.
Yeah.
So they had a better opportunity back within those 60 days you were talking about than what they do now.
Yeah, they should have.
But going back to this, you're listening to Saving the Investor radio show, and we'll give you all the information, how to contact us and all that good stuff. But if if this would have happened 20 years ago, oil prices definitely would have shot through the roof, because we were so dependent on oil from the Middle East and Saudi Arabia and all that. We were, OPEC. We were so dependent on them, and they could do whatever they want, but we are really dependent on our own self right now.
Yeah,
right?
We're sitting on a lot of it.
We're sitting on a lot of it, and that's a wonderful thing, and that's why oil prices spiked a little bit, but then they immediately started coming down. This past week, you saw them coming down at in the $60 range, $65 range, and that is really because we're not dependent on world oil right now as we were. We still get oil from them, but we weren't as what it was 20, 25 years ago.
Or
so
even in the 70s when we had
the 70s was the worst.
License plate under Carter.
I remember that. Yep, you had
it was 99 cents, but I mean that's a long time ago.
Yeah, was it that?
I think it was around there, 70, 80 cents maybe.
Yeah, but it was. Yeah, you had to wait in line, and then people were running out of gas waiting in line. It was not a good thing, and that was part of the reason why Carter was just not a good president.
No, well, the Iranians took the plane hostage. Remember all the hostages they had, and as soon as Reagan had that same motto that Trump has, before I get in, you better get them out.
Now, was that Carter? That was during the gas lines.
That was Carter, Carter, and then Reagan came in.
And Reagan came in,
and then that's when he started cutting taxes.
Yeah. So that's when you have a good leader, and thank God we have a leader in Donald Trump. You see how he answers these questions. He doesn't need a teleprompter. He doesn't need anything but papers in front of him. He knows what's going on, and he has a team around him and that's the whole thing. Look at Trump's team, and he has that team of advisors around him, good people. I mean, smart people, and that's and you have to have a team, and that's what we have here at the Advanced Retirement Group. We have a team that is amazing. With Mary, Daniela, your son David Antonucci, advisor here, that is just a rock star. Curtis and Garrett, and we just have Alex and my son Devin. We just have a great team that is that really cares about the people.
Yeah,
cares about our clients, and we call our clients family because that's how we really feel. They are family, and I'll tell you what, when we do investing, we'll get people that will say, Alfie, do what you would do for yourself. Like if we have changes,
sure.
And I say, this is what I'm doing, and then if you're doing it, then I want to do it.
Yeah.
And that's, this is what we call our clients. We meet with our clients. We encourage them to come in. And the good thing about that is, we don't take every client that comes in. We just don't. We can't. We want to make sure they're good fits for us and good fits, for themselves. Because, if you had a client that comes in and they're just not, they're not a good fit, they don't align with your goals, and it's just not going to be a good fit. It's nice to be in the business long enough to say, what, keep doing what you're doing. But when we, take a client on, that is for long term. We want a long-term relationship because that's what it's all about, a long-term relationship, because we got to get you to and through retirement. And you're going to have ups and downs in the market. You're going to have ups and downs in your retirement plan. But as long as you have a plan and know where that income's coming from, and that's where people lack, is they don't have an income plan in place. And that's one of the first things we're going to do. We're going to look at your taxes. We're going to look at estate planning. But income planning is one of the most important things out there. So if we can do income planning, that's what we do first, the income plan, to make sure you have the income to get you to and through retirement. And then we put portfolios together for you that we use managers that are managing for big institutions that you wouldn't really have access to, but you do now with us. It's a beautiful thing. So give us a call and let us show you what we can do for you.
Yeah, Alfie has what's called a retirement simulator process. It's a computer program that's been developed here, and it really will stress test your current portfolio to see what's going on. Listen, if your portfolio is, moving forward and it's in the correct mix and asset classes that you desire, Alfie's going to tell you. But if there are some issues or problems that need to be addressed, he's going to tell you as well. So it's a complimentary opportunity for you to take advantage of Alfie Townsend's 40 years of experience as a certified financial planner professional. And he is Southwest Florida's premier financial strategist. He's going to put together an income plan. He's going to stress test your portfolio to see what's really going on. Going to expose all the hidden fees that could be eating up your returns that you don't see each and every year. Going to make sure that you're allocated properly, diversified correctly, not taking undue risk for the amount of return that you're getting each and every year, making sure you're rebalancing so that your asset classes and your mix is in the desired income strategy that you have for yourself. Listen, you owe it to yourself. Be one of the first 9 callers right now to pick up the phone. Either text the word VISIT, V-I-S-I-T, to 239-747-1077. Or if you don't text, you can call the operator and say, I want to visit with Alfie in Fort Myers or Naples. You also can go to savingtheinvestor.com. Listen, go to his website right now. Take a look at all the wealth of information that's there. Once you get to the home page, you're going to see the financial freedom strategy that you can unlock and download, absolutely complimentary, that will give you great information on any topic that centers around the financial industry that you might be interested in. Go to savingtheinvestor.com or text the word VISIT to 239-747-1077. And Alfie, as you said, too late, Powell, as President Trump talks.
Too late.
Really hasn't done anything as far as cutting the rates. The prices in the grocery store I'm seeing are ticking up or still about the same. I mean, if they're getting that money now, what's going to make them reduce it, later on? Even in the restaurants we go to, it's pricey right now for people.
Oh, it's yeah, very, very pricey. And really, what will happen? Restaurants will start lowering. You'll have grocery stores will start lowering, and then other ones will have to follow because they'll start losing business. So it does come back down. It's like gas. If your gas prices are up high, and they just can't stay high because other stations are starting to lower them, then other ones will follow. So that's what hopefully will happen is prices will start coming down. Demand for it, if the demand comes down, then they're going to have to lower the prices. You look at cars, the perfect example of, remember when cars, it was hard to get a used car, and it was worth more than a new car, because you could get one. The new car you had to order and wait. So, but then it's starting to come down. Housing, same thing. When housing was a house was $1 million, and now they're at about $850,000. Right. So it does come down, and that's what will happen. The demand, supply and demand will bring it down, and we'll get it back into, more in line of what it should be. So right now we do have, as of June 25th, NASDAQ is right at that $20,000 mark. And 20,000 point mark. And NVIDIA. It's again NVIDIA. There's who's that guy? Clock. He's on all the time, early in the morning, trying to tell you to sell your NVIDIA, and that all these billionaires are selling their NVIDIA stock, and you should too. And he wants you to buy his newsletter, and then he'll recommend some stocks to you to replace what NVIDIA was. And he said NVIDIA is a great company. I told people to buy it when it was $20 each, and now it's time to sell it. Well, if you would have done that, and NVIDIA did go down, but it's back.
It's at 154 all-time high. I mean,
yeah, and this is and it's the most valuable public traded company in the world right now. It's worth almost $4 trillion.
That's bigger than some countries.
Oh yeah, by a lot. So this one company is that big right now.
And
so
they're getting into a lot of different things, aren't they? They're not just chips and.
Yeah, they're starting to do robotics, and that's what the chips are used for. But yeah, they're starting to branch out.
Stuff and
they're
getting involved in a lot.
Yeah. So NVIDIA is a company that has done very well there. Obviously, in the S&P and in the NASDAQ, and a lot of our portfolios, NVIDIA has to be in there, and we never took it out when they were going down because we knew it's a company to be with.
Yeah,
it's a
company. It was an opportunity. It was down to 95, I think.
Yeah,
when you buy it.
That you got to buy. You got to be a contrarian. When that market starts to go down, people start to panic. Instead of sell, you just say, okay. If you liked it at 150, you should like it even that much more at 90.
Sure. Yeah.
If you like those pair of shoes that were $200 and now they're $150.
On sale.
It's on sale. You buy it. It's the same shoe. You buy it. So you're listening to Saving the Investor, and we are talking about the market and really opportunities that are out there. We're going to talk more about income planning and some tax strategies on the other side of this break. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner Alfie Townsend. You can go to savingtheinvestor.com. Again, his website is savingtheinvestor.com. Take advantage of just the wealth of information about Alfie, his company, and all the services that he offers here through the Advantage Retirement Group. He is a certified financial planner professional with over 40 years experience. And if you've been wondering whether your own plan is on track, now is the perfect time to find out. Alfie and his team are offering a complimentary 15-minute retirement checkup call. It's a quick, no-pressure way to get clarity on your current path. Just call or text the number 15 to 239-747-1077 if you want to schedule a complimentary 15-minute retirement checkup call with Alfie or one of his trusted advisors here. They're all fiduciaries. Just call or text the number 15 to 239-747-1077. Take one smart step toward your next financial chapter. And Alfie, jobless claims are in a good position. even though he's moving people out that have come over the border since Biden let millions of people in.
Yeah.
Job numbers are going down, aren't they?
Yep. It's jobless claims are going down, so that's a good thing. Less people filing for unemployment. I think people are holding their jobs longer. They're not jumping around as much as they used to, so that's a good thing. But you're going to have better paying jobs out there. You're going to have people have to, when they're going to work, but they're really getting more money than what they were doing a year ago or 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So they are making more money. So, and inflation, like Jerome Powell, he just had he testified last week, the Fed chairman, and he talked about inflation is continuing to cool. So that's a good thing. So inflation is calming down a little bit. And you're saying, if you think about it, cars, remember, is a big thing. And they were adding prices to cars. They weren't discounting the cars, and now they're starting to discount cars. So, you're starting to see sales again in retail where you weren't seeing that many sales when the government was handing out all that money.
Yeah.
And that's what was driving up inflation. The government was just handing out money. People were paying whatever they want, whatever they were asking for. They weren't like you, where you negotiate prices on anything and everything.
Well, I'll tell you what's going to be good. We got Byron Donald's going to be in the studio with us for the hour next week. It was tremendous. But, we're going to have to talk to him where that big, beautiful bill is because, we're 6 months into the year.
Yeah.
They've got to get these taxes, in check. They can't let these expire, can they? Or else we're going to have some problems.
That would be a big tax increase, one of the largest tax increases. So they know they have to get something done. They would be suicide if they don't. When that midterm election comes, they will be voted out. If you vote against this bill, you're going to be voted out. And when you're talking about no taxes on tips, no tax on overtime, Social Security, that's not gonna. But no tax on overtime, that would be a great thing. You're contributing, and that money is going to be poured into the economy. If you're able to take home 25% more money on overtime because you're not paying into that Social Security or federal taxes, people are going to have more money to spend, and that's going to be a beautiful thing. So, that bill has to get passed.
Yeah.
And they do have to tweak it a little bit, but they have to take in consideration, and that's a question I'm going to ask Byron Donalds, is that, when you're paying when you have a good economy and you're lowering taxes, you got more money coming in, how does that money help to pay down the deficit? And I don't think they take that in consideration. I want to add that. I'm going to add that question to him because I want him to explain it, how it pays down that excess monies to
I think if they're cutting, entitlements, that's the only way you can do it. You've got to offset those,
Yeah.
If you're giving somebody tax-free
Well,
money.
a lot of this, so you'll have, like, Reagan had it when he cut those taxes in.
Oh, yeah, more
and
came
there
into
was
Treasury.
so much coming into the Treasury, and that's what, but they were spending it. They weren't really cutting it down, and that's what we have to really do. We have a spending problem, not a tax problem. We have a spending problem. So that was one of the things. So, but it did sound like there's going to be opportunity for rate cuts later on this year with Jerome Powell. So when he was speaking, that was some good news there. So we'll just have to look at that.
Yeah. Well, going into the third quarter, that's not the best quarter. The fourth normally is, isn't it?
The fourth quarter is typically, yes, the best. But we'll, if he can cut in the third quarter, that would be
a boost for the fourth.
That would be a big boost. So we have to look at that. The FedEx founder of FedEx died this.
Fred Smith.
Yeah, and that guy. We'll tell a little story about him. I think it was on 60 Minutes years ago. His professor in college, he did a thesis of FedEx. He drew up the diagram. He said, how it would work, and then the professor gave him a C for it and said, that's ridiculous. Think that you can compete with the post office, you can compete with the government. That will never work. That's FedEx.
It still is incredible how they get that off every day.
Oh, yeah.
Overnight, and it's an amazing operation. With all I don't know how many planes they have, but it's a big company.
Oh, it's a big company, but they really revolutionized the overnight delivery. I mean, it's just you send a package today and it's sitting over there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Around the country, around the world. So, but again, here's a professor that gave this guy a C on his paper because he didn't have the vision.
Right.
He didn't have the vision,
Well, it
but
makes sense,
well, sometimes you have to think outside the box, and this guy definitely thought outside the box. So rest in peace for that. Well, again, John, talk about we got just a little time left. Let people know how they can call in and get an appointment or do a 15-minute phone call, and then we'll end the show.
Yeah, we do want to remind you that next week we don't want you to miss. Set your calendar right now in your phone so that you don't miss next week's episode. We're going to have Congressman Byron Donalds in studio with us talking about the state of the economy here in Florida, and also he's going to talk about his run for governor, which I believe he's going to win handily. And we do want you to know that Alfie has a complimentary 15-minute retirement checkup call. Listen, it's a quick, no-pressure way to get clarity on your current path, or you can make an appointment to come in and visit with him in Fort Myers or Naples. Whatever you desire to do, just be one of the next 9 callers right now. You can either text the number 1515 to 239-747-1077 to schedule your complimentary retirement checkup call, or you can make an appointment. He'll do a deep dive into your current portfolio with the retirement simulator process in Fort Myers or Naples, and he'll expose all the hidden fees. He'll make sure that you're not taking undue risk for the amount of return that you're getting, going to make sure you're allocated properly, diversified correctly. Listen, you want to meet with Southwest Florida's premier financial planner, strategist, Alfie Townsend, over 40 years experience in this industry, and he will get you to and through retirement. Either call the operator or text the word VISIT, VISIT, to 239-747-1077.
Thank you, John. And like he said, next week's going to be an exciting week. Set your calendar. And if you want some questions for us to ask our congressman, that would be great too. Just give us a call and they'll our answering service. If we're not here, you just ask them the question that you would like us to ask, and if we have time with our congressman, enough time, we'll try to get your question to them. But this is an exciting time to have someone of this power, stature, to come in and to spend time to really talk about what's going on here in Southwest Florida and what's going on in the state of Florida, and not only the state of Florida, but in our country, because he's on these committees that knows what's happening. So I can't wait to talk to him and spend some more time with him. And you're listening to Saving the Investor, and I don't know if you ever watched our TV show. It's a very high-rated show for a financial show. They keep telling us it's one of the highest rated shows there, but it's called Saving the Investor. It's on NBC, and it's following Meet the Press. So if you don't watch Meet the Press, just set your DVR for 11 o'clock, and that's when it ends, and ours starts. So ours is from 11 to 11:30 every Sunday for a half hour. And then, of course, here on 92.5, we're here every Saturday, and it's been over a decade and counting, and it's been a fast 10 years, 11 years that we've been on this station. So we're truly blessed to have this station here in Southwest Florida. We love it. So again, thank you for listening to Saving the Investor, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Put some suntan protection on, sunblock. Until next week, be blessed.